a bigger branch, and just hope for the best. Do I think I can? Yeah, I'm capable of a lot of things. You know.
So you think you're capable of? So you don't think you'd be walking out like you don't think the chimpanzee would be walking out of that battle victorious? You definitely win.
Yeah, I give it a good 50-50 shot.
Damn.
50-50 shot, and that's with anybody. Like, I think anybody has a 50-50 shot because on any
I don't know, bro.
on
You gotta be
any given Sunday you can win. Now it's not like you said a silverback gorilla. Like,
well, yeah, you're right, but you still gotta be at least athletic. I feel like, bro. You not
I'm
just
athletic,
anybody.
and at the very
but
least,
you said just anybody has a 50-50 though.
any given Sunday, you don't know what some people. You ever seen serial killers? Most serial killers ain't coming out like Debo.
Okay, yeah, you're
They
right.
some skinny, old, crazy looking white dude killing people. Outside of the movies like Mike Myers, but I mean, like, most serial killers, like real serial killers, you wouldn't even, how the fuck this nigga kill somebody?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
you're right.
the tools may not have been invented, but the mind has always been sharp for whatever the time is given. So if the village is sending me out to hunt, unless it's like the Spartans and they sending out kids to get better in the wilderness and you got to come back and survive, clearly they're sending me to go hunt because I'm the cream of the crop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So shit.
You're the best the village got to offer.
Alright. Granted, for some people that might not be saying much. So, you know, for some of y'all, if they sending you, then shit, you might be SOL. But if they sending me, I'm like, alright. You know, I'll be back in a couple days because most hunting trips back then probably would take a couple days or a week.
All right. Speaking of hunting trips, on to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go ahead and talk about what's your, as of right now in 2022, what's your biggest fear, Mr. Monty? What do you fear the most whenever you go to sleep? Like whenever you go to sleep tonight, before you close your eyes, like what's gonna be like? Damn, if this happened, I don't know what I would do before you go to sleep.
Well, for me, the Lord doesn't give us a spirit of fear. So if you have fear, then you're not living right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For sure.
But for me, things that I do think about, as far as if it happened, how I would move from it, not being fear, but being cautious, you know, and using my head. It's just like sometimes on a deeper level, just being loved for what I got and not who I am.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I feel you.
Like, you know, that's not a fear, but that's something like, you know,
everybody in your life just using you for face value, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Okay. That's a valid answer, though. That's a very deep answer. I understand. I'd say my biggest fear would probably be not being able. I actually thought about this a little bit. I think my actual biggest fear, like literally, would be probably if I was in a room with my my mom and my little sister, and there was just nothing I could physically do to save them in the situation, or like there was something that I failed to do to stop something tragic from happening to them, and like I can the situation goes down, and I can definitely go through it and be like, damn, that was definitely on me. Like I was the reason why my mom and my sister had to go through something traumatic. Yeah. That's probably my biggest fear, bro. Because I don't know what I would do. I'd have to live with that forever. Like, dang. I mean, I know I'm straight with them now. Like, we spoke about it, but at that point in time, bro, I really effed them over. Like,
I mean, I could probably.
I wasn't prepared to help them, whatever.
I could say the same about that with my son. I wouldn't want. Hey, he's gonna be his own man. He's gonna have his own successes, his own failures. But I don't never want to be the reason why he doesn't reach his potential. I don't want to be the reason why he's just like, you know, daddy wasn't there, or you didn't teach me these things. Because a lot of the time, black people in general don't get taught certain things growing up, as opposed to what white counterparts or any race. Because, you know, Mexicans, they'll all be in the same house, or Latinos, not just Mexicans, they'll all be in the same house till they get older. White people let them move back in, but a lot of black people had the same story. Like, you know, my parents told me to move out at 18.
Right.
So now
I had no other choice.
Yeah, I had to learn on my own.
Right.
And not all black people, because I do know some people, you know, that I'm good.
Oh yeah, word.
Some people that do have their are blessed to have their parents give them that shelter in their home. But then what we'll do to our own is make it seem like, oh, you were spoon fed. You come from a silver spoon versus looking at that like a blessing. Like, nah, my parents didn't just let me just go out there being stupid.
And my parents ain't do the same thing, and their parents ain't do that, and you mad because I didn't fall in line like your family did.
All right, yeah, it's a blessing to be like, well, damn, you didn't have to go through what I went through.
Jealousy and envy is a real thing in the black community, though. That's for sure. Nah, for real.
So I would want to be able to give my son all the tools he needs to be successful. Now, my parents gave me all the tools that I needed, and I didn't realize it until now that I'm older. But I'm like, when I was younger, I was like, man, they didn't teach me this, didn't teach me that.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, three biggest things my parents taught me was how to adapt, how to use my head, and how to hustle. And hustle don't mean out selling drugs and no shit like that, but how to work hard.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And
have
always
something over your head. Yeah.
And always trust in the Lord. Now, not everybody may not be religious or anything like that, but it'll get you through. You'll be surprised what your faith can do. And whatever your religion is, whatever you believe in, however you move, you'll be surprised what faith can do and how much faith you actually have, especially if you're putting that faith into yourself. So as I got older, it's like, well, damn, man, they didn't teach me how to pay rent on time. They didn't teach me how to balance a checkbook, but they taught me how to go seek knowledge and how to retain knowledge, how to apply knowledge. They didn't break it down bit by bit, but they gave me a good foundation. Now, as we go older and go down generations, it's like, okay, what my parents taught me, I have to teach my children, but then teach them that much more. And so then he can teach his children what I learned from my parents, what he learned from me, and then what he learned through his life.
Right.
And that's how we evolve. That's evolution.
Yeah. Keep the
You-
lineage alive. Yeah. Now you're right though. It's passing down the same tendencies that you had before with the way you was raised, basically, and putting it down to him. Like, but it all stems from like a lot of people. It takes that one person or like that one, because no family's gonna start without a man and a woman somewhere, bro. And it could take. You could have a man that was raised in like, I guess what you would call like what we just talked about, a relatively good upbringing where they're just a respectful person, like, have all the underlying things we were just talking about. So like, and then now you got this female though that has a history, like her family has always been the complete opposite. Like she would be the first one out of all of her family to be moving the same way and to raise a kid that's like a different way than what they have, or like, cause, a lot of like black families have different views on how they raise like their children and how families should be ran, and especially like families that don't even have like a full family, like just single mother households. All of them are like ran
single
differently.
fathers too, cause single fathers is out there. Shout out to the fathers. Holding it down, you know what I mean? There's some real good brothers out there doing their thing, taking care of them kids, working them 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Not to discredit the single moms out there, but we got some solid brothers out there doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Just shouts out to that. Go ahead.
There you go. Yep. So, but yeah, all that I feel like all of that just plays a part in. I mean, because you could say, like, you could have that perfect, like, not a perfect person, but that one, like, let's say the male was the one in the equation that was raised respectfully and the female wasn't. And now you got a whole relationship or a whole household that's going to be, you don't know what it's going to be like whenever that father's not there, but now when that mother's there, the most memorable thing to those kids could be the moments where, like, their dad wasn't there. And what if those are the moments that it's the mom that wasn't even raised the right way, put in something traumatic that was, like, that was in the process of her getting raised onto those children. You know what I'm saying? And then boom.
Well, I mean, and I know, so this doesn't rub anybody the wrong way, because I do have a strong faith. I'm not no Catholic priest. I'm not holier than thou and nothing like that. But for most people, I'm just predicating this for what I'm about to say. I say, even if you don't believe in Jesus, if you read the Bible, there's a lot of good lessons to apply to your life. And this particular lesson is about, you have to be evenly yoked with who you're with. And evenly yoked meaning like, okay, just because you may not come from a certain background, but who you are, you define who you are.
Right.
So if you got somebody that's respectful and everything like that, because there's plenty of females or men that have toxic families.
Oh, yeah.
But they're very respectful. They carry themselves differently.
They get the best out of what they went through.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So it's just like when you find that person that you want to be with, you got to be evenly yoked. Now, also too, because it's like, all right, if y'all not evenly yoked, let's say For example, if some of the female, a lot of times back in the day, the women used to be really religious and everything like that. And I'll just use our race. Black men just didn't go to church or whatever, but she spends so much time trying to get him in church, and it's just a strain on them. Now, women, how we see women can influence men to do a lot of things. I'll go back to the Bible. If you look in the Bible, there's so many examples of how women influence men to do stupid things and some good things, but a lot of times you got, first off top, Eve.
Yeah.
Then you got Sarah,
Yeah.
who told Abraham to impregnate somebody else. And now we got this whole big conflict overseas because the lineage diverted from Abraham's rightful heir and then his son that he had with Hagar. I think her name was Hagar. Don't quote me on that.
It was the Esau?
No. That was down the line. But I'm just saying Abraham's first two sons, Isaac and don't quote me on that.
Not Jacob. Is it Jacob?
No, it's not Jacob. It's Isaac. It's Isaac and Ishmael. It might have been Ishmael. But whatever the name is, we'll fact check. But whatever the name is, that's where it divided, and that's why you have so much conflict there because she influenced them. Hell, I'll even give you a better example. Samson, world's strongest man.
Yeah,
he ended up telling all his secrets to this female and everything like that, and then she used it against him, and that caused his death.
Yep.
And I'm not shitting on women. Because there's some women who will influence, like, okay, Ruth. Ruth was a prostitute. But what she did, she got the men that was coming into the city. She was like, look, I'll show you how to get to them, boy. Do the whoop, but y'all got to take me with y'all and keep me safe. Boom. She was safe. There's some women, there's a balance. I know that's just one example because I'm just thinking on top of my head. But that's one example of a woman doing something of value for a man. Right. So there's a balance. So it just depends on. Now there are men that do some ancient stuff in the Bible too. Not to get so deep in religion, but this just is predicating everything like that. As far as being evenly yoked, you have to have that discernment on who you're with.
Right.
And it doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you want to go and who you want to be. So.
Well, there you go. That was some good info. So, I think the initial question was, what do you fear? So you fear nothing. Or I guess, what did you say? You said
no. I mean, I don't fear nothing, but I mean, I wouldn't want to be loved for what I got.
That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And if we want to go divulge that or dive into that a little bit deeper, I mean, because a lot of the time, and not even just in a relationship with a woman or anything like that, just with anybody, because you'd be surprised how many people are around you. Not even when you're up, they can be around you when you're down. And make you feel worse about where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It don't cost nothing to show love. It don't cost nothing to care about somebody. You owe no man but to love them. And if you can't show love, then what you doing?
Exactly. That's what we all here for each other, honestly.
We're all connected. And it's
crazy because I've actually been, bro, I don't know what it's been lately, but I've been watching a lot of, animal kingdom stuff, like this stuff happening in nature, bro, and it's crazy to see how even like the simplest animal behavior is to like stick together and make sure they have each other's back and like move to make sure, number one, like the children of the pack are taken care of and like everybody is safe, like nobody gets taken down like alone. Like I saw a leopard. I don't know, I saw this one video, bro, they showed a leopard fending off a bear to protect her cubs, bro. Oh, yeah, and I just thinking like, bro, they like the size comparison and what I feel like that bear could have done, but just the intimidation of the leopard and the drive, like. I
mean, that even goes back to your question about the chimpanzee. It's just like you'd be surprised what somebody's capable of doing. Like I said, especially when it comes to mothers and not just even the animal kingdom. Mothers really will go hard to protect their kids. Good mothers, because they're the nurturers. Like they will. There's even smaller animals that'll go against a lion. Oh damn, my bad.
No, you up.
Hotline. Anyway,
blinging.
But that'll do anything for their kids. That you'll be, and any parent too. Like it just seems like you'll tap into like a deeper strength to protect your child. Now, even though in the animal kingdom, if the child is just lost and it's already dead, there's some parents, they won't do nothing. They'll have to go. They'll
on to the next. Yeah, I seen that shit too. That shit can be cruel and it's loving though. It's crazy.
You know, and it's because some kids just do stupid shit. Even with us humans, you can only do so much for your kids. You can give them anything, the shirt off your back, it lasts 5 hours. But if you just fuck up, and that's your life, like
they gotta own it. Yeah,
being in the streets, you don't get shot doing stupid shit for the right or wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You can do wrong things for the right reasons.
Right.
So it's like, you know, because it's like, oh, if your mom need help paying bills, you don't know how else to do that shit. But serving, you get got for that. You know, yeah, that's gonna hurt. It might be respectable with some, but at the end of the day,
you gotta charge that bit to the game. You stepped in the game, gotta charge it to it.
You know, that's
how it go though, for real. It's really just accepting that everything that you put yourself into gonna have consequences that come with it. And you just have to be willing to accept the consequences. Like that's part of like allowing yourself to do anything is accepting the consequences of what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that should be a part of your plan after you do anything.
Right.
I don't know.